Chapter 8. The natives began whooping and dancing around the large campfire, firing their muskets in the air in celebration. Samuel crept out, slowly, until he could partially see what was going on. He started to move back under cover when there was a sudden increase in the racket, and the sound was different. The Indians had been firing in the air as they danced, which caused the explosions to go up and away. They were firing smooth-bore muskets, weapons that made a muffled, barking sound. But this new sound had a sharper, cracking quality of higher velocity rifles. Samuel crept back out to the edge and saw that the shots had come from the north side of the clearing, where another trail came in. 6 or 8 shots. Great clouds of black powder smoke came rolling out of the forest. A pause to reload, then 8 more shots. The Indians and British soldiers were stunned. A few Indians and 1 soldier went down, probably dead. Several others were wounded and hobbled into the brush for cover. But the Indians and British recovered and returned fire. Samuel was jarred by 2 important facts. First, whoever was attacking, this might end in the rescue of his parents. Second, he should help them. He moved to the clearing near the trail, raised his rifle, cocked it, and without thinking of the enormity of what he was doing, aimed at the nearest British soldier. He was less than 50 yards away. The German silver of Samuel's front sight settled on the red uniform. He set the first trigger and was moving his finger to the hair trigger when he heard a noise behind him. He wheeled, his rifle coming around in front in time for him to see the 2 Indians who had nearly caught him earlier, running straight at him. "What?" Half a word. Then one Indian, and the other farther away, leveled his musket and fired. Samuel felt the ball graze his cheek. Without thinking, his rifle at his hip, he touched the hair trigger, and in slow motion, felt the rifle buck, saw the small hole appear in the Indian's chest. Then, through a cloud of smoke from his weapon, he watched the Indian fall as he saw the other Indian swing a tomahawk in a wide arc. He knew he couldn't raise his rifle in time to block the blow. The tomahawk was coming at his head, and he tried to duck, but the white-hot pain exploded as the side of the tomahawk smashed into his forehead. And then nothing. Wounds. Untreated battle injuries often led to gangrene, which causes the body to literally rot away, turning first green, then black from infection that travels rapidly. Because antibiotics were unavailable in the 18th century, amputation was the usual treatment. Due to the horrific odor of gangrene, surgeons could smell the patient and make an accurate diagnosis. If the patient was not lucky enough to benefit from amputation, maggots would be introduced into the wound in an attempt to aid healing. They would eat away the infection. Barring the surgical removal of body parts or the use of parasites, doing absolutely nothing and letting the patient die was the only option at the time.